What's that? It's autumn, I hear you cry. What should you read, I hear you cry? Well, let me tell you. Hi everyone, it's autumn, and I thought I would give you some autumn reading recommendations because who doesn't love reading recommendations? I have you covered. I have 1, 2, 3... No! Every time I go to do any book video, every time, my husband hides this in Basketball Junkie. Every single time he tries to, I don't know why, it's become a thing. He's been doing it for months and months and months. He puts this book, it's his book, I haven't read it, and he puts it in every single pile that I collect up. So to my husband, I'm not reading Basketball Junkie. I don't want to read Basketball Junkie. Nobody's reading Basketball Junkie. Let's get rid of it. Now, let's get on with the books that we are going to enjoy reading. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books here. None of them are Basketball Junkie. The first one is this one. This is The Resident, and this is by David Jackson. I recently read this. It's about a home invasion, and it's about a serial killer who's on the run. He hides in a house that has an attic. As he climbs into the attic, he goes along, crawls through the crawl space, and discovers that he can get in to the attic of the other houses on the row. And so he does. And essentially that means that he can hide and watch all of these people who are totally unaware that he's there in the house, and he can gain access to their house through the hatch anytime he pleases. This is creepy. It delves into the mind of a serial killer. It's got all of that horrible yet really exciting, as long as it's not really happening to your home invasion vibe, and I really enjoyed this, so I'm going to recommend it to you. The next book that I've got is this one. This is The Familiars by Stacey Halls. You've heard me talk about this many times. This is not a scary book, this is a historical fiction, but it features witches, and it's just got a very autumnal vibe. The cover of it alone is completely autumnal, and it's about young 17-year-old Fleetwood who is married, and she really wants to have a baby, but she keeps having miscarriages, and so she seeks the help of a wise woman to become her midwife. But this wise woman has sort of suspicions around her that she might perhaps be a witch. This doesn't go down the supernatural road, this is not a fantasy novel by any means. This is a historical fiction that has roots based in what would have really been going on at the time. We have the witch trials that are going on, we have female friendship, we have a woman who's in turmoil and doesn't know too much about what's actually happening to her. It's a brilliant book, and if you're looking for an immersive read that has all of those sort of comforting feelings of a good historical read, I can't recommend The Familiars any more than I already have about 50 times on my channel. The next book that I've got, if you're not interested in historical fiction and you want to be a little bit more sort of murdered, this one might be for you. This is Richard Lehman's Blood Games. This again focuses on a group of women who met in college, and they meet up every single year after that to go on a holiday of one of their choices. And it's sort of a fun activity for them to get into. However, this year it is the choice of the horror lover, and she picks an old abandoned lodge where some mass killings took place and no one has been there since. I mean, clearly it sounds like the perfect place to go, and this was before mobile phones and everything. This is quite an old book, so I mean, you're not going to have any way to contact the outside world, and you go into a place where the last people there were brutally slain. Perfect. I will say Richard Lehman writes women absolutely appallingly. The way that he does the female psyche is absolutely unbelievable, but I still enjoy Richard Lehman books. They are gory, they are scary, they are creepy, they'll get under your skin, and I do enjoy a good Richard Lehman, so Blood Games is one of my favourites. The next book that I've got is this one. This is Perfectly Preventable Deaths by Deirdre O'Sullivan. This is a proof copy that I've got, so that's why the cover's a bit different. But this is about two sisters, twins, and they move across Ireland to go to live with their mum's new husband. And their mum's new husband turns out to be quite rich and lives in this massive creepy old mansion. But this is also a place where for the last 60 years girls have gone missing without a trace. The twin sisters find that their relationship becomes fractured at this area. They start going down completely different roads. One of the girls, Caitlin, falls in love and goes full throttle into that and sort of abandons her sister, who is discovering that she has abilities, certain abilities, and she's starting to sort of pick up on some of the old ways, shall we say. Basically, she's dabbling in witchcraft. So it says Madeline must ask herself who she really is and who she wants to be, or rather who she might have to become to save her sister. and I really enjoyed this. Again, it looks into female relationships, it looks into sisterly bond, it looks into coming of age, and also you've got the whole added witchcraft element and the big old scary mansion element, which I really loved. So this is definitely a fun autumnal read. The next book that I've got is this one. This is Stags by M.A. Bennett. This follows Greer, who ends up at a very prestigious boarding school, and this boarding school seems to be hiding a very creepy secret. And this boarding school seems to be hiding a very sinister and unusual secret. Greer struggles to fit in with her classmates, but then an invitation arrives for her. An invite that offers her the chance to come and spend a weekend with some of the most popular students in the school for a weekend of hunting, shooting and fishing. And it says on the back that there are some invitations you just shouldn't accept, but Greer MacDonald doesn't know that yet. This is the first of a series, and it is a fantastic series. It's one of my favourite series of all time. It is YA, but it stands up alongside a lot of adult thrillers for me, and I loved it, and I loved the setting, and it has that sort of autumnal vibe to it, and I love this. I really can't recommend it enough. And the final book that I'm going to recommend is a really quick read, but it does have all of those creepy vibes. It is this. This one's Slender Man by Anonymous. And this is a strange one. It's not particularly literary, it's not a book that's going to change your life, it's not a book that's going to stay with you forever, but it is a book that you'll have a bit of fun with. And it's all told in sort of mixed media format. You've got text messages, newspaper clippings, emails, instant chat messages, and it's all centered around the urban legend that is Slender Man. So I won't say too much about this one because I don't want to spoil it for you. As I say, this is a fun read. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but I do recommend it for this time of year, and it's a fun read. So let me know what you're picking up this autumn. Let me know if any of those ones sound like your cup of tea. All books will be linked down below, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now.